Srinagar in Kashmir, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, with a lovely lake and enchanting surroundings. It is also one of Kashmir's 3 main cities and is inhabited by the majority of Kashmiris. One of the best sights is the Lake of Dal with its dramatic beauty, a center of attraction for tourists from all over the world. Beautifully built boats, called shikas, are used in this lake for sightseeing in the surrounding beautiful gardens and parks. Besides Srinagar, the country also has the city of Jammu, the winter capital, and another beautiful city, Muzaffar Abad. A morning in Ramadan, and the Imam of the mosque of Srinagar gives a religious lesson. This Imam, known as the Prince of Sermons, sits near one of the windows so that he can be heard by the largest number of worshippers, men and women. The sermon itself is delivered in Kashmiri, a language greatly influenced by Persian and Arabic. During Ramadan, Mulai Mahmud Farooq usually delivers 1 or more speeches a day, moving from one place to another, explaining the subtleties of the Quranic ayats and admonishing all to piety. The Kashmiri Muslims call the speech tabligh. During these speeches, it is expected that those present repeat paragraphs or important parts of the speech. Some of these repetitions are chanted according to a certain pattern known by Kashmiri Muslims. The speaker refers to the importance of charity and assistance to the poor, and then explains the virtues of good faith and piety. The population of Kashmir is about 7 million. 90% of them are Muslims. Islam came to the country in the 2nd century of Hijrah, and the country adopted the new faith guided by a pious man named Bulbul Shah. The ruler himself took the name Sadruddin and became the first Sultan of Kashmir. By the 10th century of Hijrah, most of the Kashmiris became Muslims. At the end of the religious speech, the audience in the mosque of Kani make an appeal to God. Wherever you go in Kashmir, you find yourself surrounded by the beauty of nature. This is Nehru Park, and you can see in the background the mosque of Khadrat Bal, built originally during the time of Shihan Jah in the Moorish style of architecture. The Kashmiri Muslims had this mosque rebuilt in 1978. Note the beautiful scriptures and fine calligraphy of these lines from the Quran. The Mosque of Srinagar was built during the reign of King Iskandar, the king of Kashmir, by the end of the 8th century of Hijrah, the 14th AD. When destroyed by fire, it was then rebuilt by the Mughal king Jahangir. The mosque was again burnt and again rebuilt by Emperor Aurangzeb. This is just another day of the holy month of Ramadan, and the faithful are here carrying out ablutions in the special pool of the mosque and getting ready for prayers. Srinagar Mosque is said to be the only one in the world to stand on wooden pillars, 378 of them in fact. Today the Imam is giving the lesson and interpreting a number of ayats of the Quran before the afternoon prayers. The Kashmiri people are well known for their piety and uprightness. They also show great interest in the affairs of their fellow Muslims in other countries. They start learning about the faith at a very early age, when children are sent to special school of Quran teaching. The master at these schools is called Maulawi Sahib. The teaching of Islam has become obligatory in the government schools. The Afghans conquered Kashmir in the 12th century of Hijrah and ruled it until it was taken over by the Sikh Punjabi ruler Ranjit Singh, who ordered the closure of the mosques. Then in the 13th century, the British sold Kashmir to the Maharaja Singh, who ordered the Muslims to pay him taxes. Kashmir is situated in the northern part of the Indian peninsula near the Himalaya chain of mountains to the west. In the northwest is Afghanistan and Tibet to the north, while the Punjab, Pakistan lies in the west. The climate is cold in winter, moderate in summer, but it can become excessively hot sometimes. Here, Lake Dal helps in cooling the weather and casting beauty and charm all around. This is Mudaffar, the school servant, preparing tea in the family house at breakfast time one day in Ramadan. The breakfast meal in Kashmir is usually a light one, but always served with tea, of which there are three kinds. The green tea taken with milk called sheer chai, the ordinary tea to which is added some nuts and almonds and called Mughal chai. Tea is made on a samovar and served with Kashmiri bread called kolcha. This Kashmiri family is made of the father, his wife Kasha, his son Mudaffar married to Hajra, their children, and a boy servant, as well as a number of relatives who are joining in a light breakfast. As for the sahur, the last meal before fasting, called sihri in Kashmiri, they consider it the main meal. Here in the house of Fatima, we see her with her three sons, Mushtaq, Mustafa, and Ferdari, along with their wives and children. All are gathered around the sahur composed of rice served in big dishes, along with various sorts of meats and vegetables. In the Sahih al-Hikam, it is stated as follows. The Prophet has said that if you wish to invoke God, you should address him saying, "O God, help us to say your name, to thank you, and to worship you devoutly." Muslim women get together before breakfast in a meeting of prayer and thanksgiving. Throughout the holy month of Ramadan, a mood of friendship and fraternity prevails. The rich come nearer to the poor, offering food and sweets in accordance with the teachings of Islam. Free meals are served near mosques, and in this way the Muslims express their faith and belief. The Prophet Muhammad himself has shown ample examples of kindness and attention to the poor, the weak, and the sick. These free meals are simple and usually composed of milk and kulcha bread. Soon the call for evening prayer is heard. Time for the evening prayers at the mosque of Srinagar.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Kashmir is famous for many industries and products, such as the luxurious silk textiles and a number of traditional crafts, promoted since the 15th century by Sultan Zain al-Din. He sent Muslims to Iran and Turkestan to learn many a new craft, such as book binding, wood carving, and carpet making, and what were to become the famous Kashmir shawls. All these products meet with great success and popularity in the local markets and among tourists who bring prosperity to the country. A huge space in Srinagar in which a small mosque has been built. Large numbers come for the prayer here for the Eid, the feast at the end of the holy month of Ramadan. Wherever Muslims find themselves at times of prayer, they turn their faces towards holy Mecca. And all around the clock, in different parts of the globe, Muslims do their prayers accordingly. Once Ramadan has ended, children and women rise to the most festive occasion, feeling happy that they have now been able to fast for a whole month. They also feel equally happy for their fellow Muslims all over the world. God says in his holy book that he who has done a good turn in the true faith shall be generously rewarded.